Good evening and welcome to the Tibet Center here at 502 North Ridgewood Road, South Orange, New Jersey. We will begin by reciting the prayer for the spreading of the teachings throughout the length and breadth of the West. By the force of the blessings of the non-fallacious three precious gems, and of the truth of our pure selfless wishes, may the precious Buddhist teachings flourish and spread to the expanse of all areas throughout the length and breadth of the West. For all the people living there, together with their near ones, who have engaged in the teachings and have faith and respect in them, may all conditions adverse to their practice of the pure Dharma be dispelled, and an excellent collection of favorable conditions increase like the waxing moon. And especially for those who work on methods to accomplish the flourishing and spreading of the victorious one's teachings, which are the source of benefit and happiness, may they never be oppressed by masses of interference and adverse conditions, and may this spontaneously happen just as we have hoped and wished. The Heart Sutra. Thus have I heard once. The Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of the Lukupi Mountain, together with a big gathering of great monks and great bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One entered the Samadhi, which examines the Dharmas, called profound illumination. And at the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, looking at the profound practice of transcendent knowledge, saw the five skandhas and their natural emptiness. Then, through the inspiration of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to Avalokiteshvara, how should those noble ones learn who wish to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge? And Avalokiteshvara answered, Venerable Shariputra, whoever wishes to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge should look at it like this, seeing the five skandhas in their natural emptiness. Form is empty, emptiness itself is form. Emptiness is not separate from form. Form is not separate from emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discriminating awareness, compositional factors in consciousness are empty. Thus all the dharmas are empty and have no characteristics. They are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, since there is emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discriminating awareness, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no objects of mind, no quality of sight, no quality of hearing, no quality of smelling, no quality of tasting, no quality of thought, no quality of mind consciousness. There are no nidanas from ignorance to old age and death, nor their wearing out. There is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no ending of suffering, and no pain, no wisdom, no attainment, no non-attainment. Therefore, since there is no attainment, the bodhisattvas abide by means of transcendent knowledge. And since there is no obscurity of mind, they have no fear, they transcend falsity and pass beyond the bounds of sorrow. All the Buddhas who dwell in the past, present, and future, by means of transcendent knowledge, fully and clearly awaken to unsurpassed, true, complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of transcendent knowledge, the mantra of deep insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering, should be known as true, for there is no deception. In transcendent knowledge, the mantra is proclaimed. Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhisvaha. O Shariputra, this is how a Bodhisattva Mahasattva should learn profound transcendent knowledge. Then the Blessed One arose from that Samadhi and praised the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, saying, Good, O son of noble family, profound transcendent knowledge should be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara, that whole gathering in the world with its gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, their hearts full of joy, praise the words of the Blessed One. generate bodhicitta. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Okay, so let's recite Om Mani Padme Hum. We'll do a rosary of Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 So, this mantra that we just recited, Om Mani Padme Hum, the mantra of compassion, is bringing together the qualities of the wisdom aspects of practice and the method aspects of practice, and they're being brought together. It is when we bring these two together that we attain full enlightenment. And so Om Mani Padme Hum really contains the elements for thinking about all aspects of the practices leading to the full enlightenment of a Buddha. So what are the method aspects of our practice? What are the method aspects of our practice?
Method aspects are compassion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bodhicitta.
Yeah.
That's on the fence.
Loving kindness.
Yeah. So what is the difference between compassion and bodhicitta?
bodhicitta is a wish to attain enlightenment for all sentient beings. And compassion is altruistic motivation to help all sentient beings. He started doing things at the same time. Okay.
So, is there a cause and or effect relationship between bodhicitta and compassion?
Yes, I would say that compassion will eventually lead to bodhicitta.
Or is a cause of?
Bodhicitta.
Okay.
Loving kindness is also a cause for bodhicitta. Becomes bodhicitta. Wisdom aspect is the study, understanding emptiness. You didn't ask about that.
Okay. So, bodhicitta is the determination to work towards the attainment of Buddhahood. But that determination to work towards it, we have someone visiting us.
Please let them through.
No. Can you open
Yeah,
it?
sure, I'll get it. There we go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Come on, you. Oh. Fernand, welcome. Oh, Zoe. Zoe, she was here Monday night. Welcome to a humble abode.
Thank you.
Come sit.
You were interested in college, huh?
You live out here?
I live in Montclair,
Oh.
and I had seen this online, the website, and then I emailed, I don't know.
Darren?
No, okay, it was Darren?
He's in there.
Darren,
Oh, okay. Yeah, he let me know that this was in person, and then on Wednesday nights. And
Good.
so I'm a newbie, but.
What's your name?
Jessica.
Jessica,
Nikki, Tony, Vincent,
Vincent's a newbie too, so.
Okay.
Good company.
Lavinia. So we are discussing, there is a very popular mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. Have you ever heard this mantra?
No.
So it's the mantra of compassion. And compassion, we would say that the fundamental quality that we wish to cultivate and that establishes our actions as being compassionate or as being spiritual would be compassion. Yes? When you do something with compassion, you're doing it with the intention to remove the suffering of others and with the wish to provide them with happiness. So, compassion becomes the motivator for this determination to work on ourselves to be able to ultimately really help others. That in Sanskrit, this determination to work towards attaining a state where we can really benefit others is bodhicitta. Compassion is the primary cause for bringing about that spirit of wishing to attain enlightenment to help others. So we have to cultivate compassion. Compassion is, on some level, we can say that compassion is part of our nature. But on another level, we are so self-centered that we have to really work at bringing compassion out and diminishing our sort of selfish tendencies. And in some way, I would say that work of diminishing the self-centered and developing the concern for others, that's spiritual work. I think that if you were to sort of boil it down to the basics of what is spiritual work, it's that. It's working, working at diminishing selfish tendencies and working at developing a concern for others. That's, I don't know. I think that's sort of like basically it.
What could be better?
Yeah.
Because those habits will lead you to, a full involvement as Buddhists.
Well, even without getting into full
That's
involvement, is
it's
just what we've been discussing recently is the fact that a preoccupation with our own problems, with our own selves, with our wish to satisfy our desires, etc., leads us sort of down to less and less satisfaction with what we have and more misery. When we begin to work towards true happiness based on something more solid, it leads us to developing concern for others. It leads us to, well, we're discussing this book, which is by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and is a presentation of a way of living that is not religious, not sort of based on any sort of religious dogma, but has a basic logical quality to why you would behave or work at cultivating yourself in a certain way. So, and what we've been discussing is how expecting outer phenomena to lead to happiness doesn't work.
You mean material things?
Material, expecting others or outside phenomena to provide us with happiness. And outer stimuli will definitely make us a little bit happy for a little bit, but
Temporary happiness.
That's it.
we deal with satisfying outer happiness after class. That happens when we eat. But here we sort of develop a recognition of, or what His Holiness is suggesting is that a concern for others and working towards somehow benefiting others provides a deeper happiness, a real happiness, a sort of longer lasting happiness, and a certain peace of mind. Now, Grace, who's not here tonight, who's a doctor,
She's online.
was mentioning that when you are really working towards helping people, and when you find yourself in a situation where you're not really able to do so, to provide them with their needs, there is a frustration that can be not necessarily happiness. And that's something that I've been thinking about, and I feel that the happiness that we are sort of suggesting is one that transcends even that frustration, that may come as a kind of satisfaction due to the fact that we've made the effort that we have towards being of benefit to others, even if we haven't been able to.
You're saying the happiness is an effect of the effort alone, the effort itself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And it's not a happiness that we will feel immediately, but it's a peace of mind that we will be left with. And
Peace of mind.
I do feel that, as we get older, and I'm in the process, and
I got. You're getting, but I got. What are you gonna do?
there are qualities of satisfaction, peace of mind that are more important than the work that we do before sets us up to be more accepting, peaceful as we get older. And working towards setting ourselves up that way is really important. It's a pursuit of happiness that is really valid. I'm beginning to learn now that I'm in my 70s.
You could say. Mental satisfaction. You're gonna get mad and scream, Harry, but still deep down, it creeps up on you, I hope.
So,
But no, there is a sense of less claustrophobic. There's a sense of possibility.
there was a place in New York called the Women's Exchange. It was on Madison Avenue in the 60s, I think, and it was a place that, well, it was in a fancy part of town, but it was open to everyone. Yeah, it was a thrift shop, and it was a place that they had lunch. They had food that was not very expensive, but it was good. It was where people could come and feel safe. And I remember waiting for someone, and I was standing next to the woman who was taking people's coats, and everyone worked as volunteers there. She was an elder woman, and I watched different people come in and give her their coats, and there were some who were very gracious and helped, and then there were some who were sort of arrogant and impatient, and I stood there for a good 15-20 minutes. Whomever I was meeting was late, and but I was not impatient that day. And this woman eventually said to me, it's so interesting. As people get older, they either get more and more kind and patient, or else they get less and less kind and more impatient. And you never know which way it's going to go, she said. Anyway, it's something that I've been watching, especially with myself, since then. So
I have a question. So this seems sort of basic, but where do we find the opportunities to show compassion? I thought that your example was great. Personally, I have a problem with robots on the phone. When I call and I get a robot, like an artificial intelligence person on the phone, making me wait to call the doctor or something like that, right?
Boy. That's a big one.
Yeah, and I get pretty annoyed. And I recently yelled at a robot, and I could hear the background. I mean, this is bizarre, but the programming exposed itself over the phone, and it said the customer is very angry right now.
Oh, I see.
So switch to a more compassionate voice. It literally said that.
Oh my God.
On
Said
artificial
alive, Chris.
intelligence, yeah, sentient being,
Yeah.
right? And then I was just like floored because like here's a robot telling me that I'm being angry,
No, but what you have to do is develop that switching technique in yourself.
Right.
And say, I am getting angry right now. Now I have to switch to the
Yeah.
more peaceful mode.
Yeah. It started talking to me like I was a dog, essentially. Like, good boy.
Yeah, the medical profession has gone downhill.
Yeah.
The
No,
way-
but
the way it's dispensed. I don't know
Right.
about the science.
But I like what you have to say, which is the switch. I don't know where the switch is at. That's my
We have to develop the switch.
yeah.
The switch is something we have to develop. We have to understand that we do have an element of control over it. We have to develop it. But Darren has, Darren whom you spoke to, has commented to me that I am impatient with AI. I have, AI on my phone. What is it called? Claude. And when Claude starts to make little mistakes or give me an answer that I have already established as
Yeah.
being, or we have already established as being, I say, come on, Claude.
Yeah.
And,
I think I've said worse to Claude, but I hear you. Yeah.
but I do think that it's probably a good training place for developing patience, tolerance, kindness. I mean, yes.
We should ask AI, how do we do that? Let's see what AI would have to say about that.
Come back next week
You should come in with, develop the armor of patience, they say in Buddhism.
The armor of patience.
The armor of patience, forbearance, or whatever. Like putting, what's the thing with your shoe in the earth? You can't cover the earth with leather, but the same effect if you just cover your feet. So you can't deal with what's coming in at you. But if your mind is trained, this mind's not, but you can deal with it more. You better get used to it. I think AI is all over the place, so I call it ay.
So here it says our basic attitude,
What page
how
are you
we
on, Nikki?
58.
15. Thank you.
How we relate to external circumstances is thus the first consideration in any discussion on developing inner peace. In this context, the great Indian scholar practitioner Shantideva once observed that while we have no hope of finding enough leather to cover the earth so that we never prick our feet on a thorn, actually we do not need to. As he went on to observe, enough to cover the soles of our feet will suffice. In other words, while we cannot always change our external situation to suit us, we can change our attitude.
That's the one.
If you could do that, wouldn't it be a nice thing? If you really could think of the benefits of having that kind of mental armor, life would be a lot easier.
So,
Waiting.
well, I think that
Yeah.
we agree that you can,
You can.
and
I've
so
seen
it's a
people
question of how
embody
you do
that.
it.
Yes.
And it's important to acknowledge that the changes that we work to develop in ourselves are not going to happen within weeks, months, or even 1 or 2 years. But if after a few years we look at ourselves and we see that there is some improvement in our patience or tolerance or whatever, that's considered big. I always wonder when I look at myself and I think that maybe I have become a little more patient with situations, whether it's just getting old or whether it's a result of practice. And I tend to feel that.
You were always calm. I know you a long time. You were fairly calm, especially next to me. I don't know what roots you have from past life, but that woman is right. You can go either this way or that one with me.
But we do, I think it's important to realize that we do have responsibility for how we behave and the ability to actually work at developing change. We have that. And it doesn't come, it's not like a blessing from above. It's work we have to do. So,
and we have instructions to help us. It's not like we have to invent the wheel.
Yeah, there are techniques that have been developed in different religious traditions that help us remind ourselves of the benefits of cultivating virtue and the negative aspects of being unthoughtful, selfish, cruel, whatever. And we can, setting our motivation each day helps us stay on track. Determining to work towards diminishing our selfish reactions and work towards being more concerned with others, determining to think more about how kind people are to us rather than expecting them to do things the way we want them to. Thinking about those things, especially at the beginning of the day, really helps us. I mean, we're gonna fall prey to our selfish tendencies, but preparing ourselves is really important. When we are actually in the thick of life, it's very difficult to maintain control. I mean, we have to work towards it, but it's difficult. If we prepare ourselves beforehand, the ability to actually control ourselves when provoked will be far better. So, I have a little note that we ended on page 65.
Elderly person.
This characteristic of appreciating others' concern is, I believe, a reflection of our inability to bear the side of another's suffering. I say this because alongside our natural ability to empathize with others, we also have a need for others' kindness, which runs like a thread throughout our whole life. It is most apparent when we're young and when we're old, but we have only to fall ill to be reminded of how important it is to be loved and cared about, even during our prime years. Though it may seem a virtue to be able to do without affection, in reality, a life lacking this precious ingredient must be a miserable one. So affection is what His Holiness is talking about, the importance of affection. It is surely not a coincidence that the lives of most criminals turn out to have been lonely and lacking in love. If we see this appreciation of kindness reflected in our response to the humans, we see this in our response to the human smile. Now, smiling is a wonderful technique. If we can, as we walk along the street, if we can learn to smile, if when we go into a shop and ask for help, and if we smile, everything changes. The whole dynamic of a situation changes by this simple act of sort of a pleasant.
Yeah, people respond to it automatically. Yeah. And then there's the other way, you walk in scowling. No, that's true.
We see this appreciation of kindness reflected in our response to the human smile. For me, human beings' ability to smile is one of our most beautiful characteristics. It's something no animal can do, no dogs, nor even whales or dolphins, each of them very intelligent beings with a clear affinity for humans, can smile as we do. Personally, I always feel a bit curious when I smile at someone and they remain serious and unresponding. On the other hand, my heart is gladdened when they reciprocate. Even in the case of someone I have nothing to do with, when that person smiles at me, I'm touched. But why? The answer surely is that a genuine smile touches something fundamental in us, our natural appreciation of kindness. So, what do you have to say about
His Holiness might not understand all animals very well. Because dogs do smile.
Really?
They do.
Well, they wag their tails.
They wag their tails, but have you ever seen a dog when he grins and he goes like this when he's really, really happy? It's how all his teeth show.
But cats, however,
Yago used to do that.
cats could care less.
Like this, they go like this.
His Holiness recommends sometimes just go by yourself and you change your mood by beginning to smile. Don't go like this, but just start to crack the smile. It affects you.
And also,
recommends
I
that.
I would like to share a very personal story. The first time I saw His Holiness, I was in Washington, D.C., and I was sitting rather close to him and in the audience, and he smiled in my direction, and I thought, oh, who is he smiling at? And I looked around, and I was very early, and there was nobody around me. I was sitting near the press area, and I just frowned. I just stared at him, and I didn't smile back. So I'm victim. I'm one of those people who didn't smile back. I was so shocked. It was the first time I saw him. I didn't know how to react.
Well, next time, smile.
I have ever since then. I've done that.
And how did it make you feel to have this person whom you hadn't met smile to you?
It was just, I felt like, why? What is his motivation? Why is he smiling at us or at me? You know, I couldn't understand it. And then after I left my first event with His Holiness, it was life-changing. I felt so elated and I was so happy, blissed out. From that moment on, decided to smile at His Holiness whenever I saw him.
Smile to the rest of us, too.
Yeah.
No problem.
Smile at work, see what happens.
Sure.
Yes, I think the United Nations would be an important place to smile.
You know, you were mentioning the frustration with Grace about how she feels helpless sometimes as a doctor. Sometimes I feel that way too at the UN. I feel like I cannot create world peace in my capacity. I just can't do it. So there's this element of frustration there too.
It's also compounded when they're new. They have these long shifts and they're sleep deprived, all these
The doctors.
residents.
Yeah,
And you really got to have
yeah.
some kind of inner strength to go beyond it.
Yeah.
We're dealing with death. Let's face it.
Yeah.
I don't know how she did it.
Every job has its frustrations.
Yeah, but that's a little exponent level.
So despite the body of opinion suggesting that human nature is basically aggressive and competitive, my own view is that our appreciation for affection and love is so profound that it begins even before our birth. Indeed, according to some scientists, there was a Mind and Life conference held in Dharamsala in India. Mind and Life are these conferences that are held, sponsored by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to introduce Western scientific ideas to the Tibetan Buddhist community and to introduce Tibetan or Buddhist concepts to the scientific community. It's a sort of exchange between these two worlds. And they were having one. It was a group of Canadian academics who came to Dharamsala to discuss the effects of having implemented training in secular ethics in Canada, starting something like 35 years ago.
Yes.
And the effects that it has had on students over decades. And they were discussing at what age to start the training in secular ethics, at what age to introduce the trainings that would lead one to appreciate virtuous behavior and actions over not having such training. And some of them were saying, well, it's important that you start in lower school. And then someone said, well, it's really good to introduce these concepts to children when they're in kindergarten. And then someone else said, well, you know, it's the attitude that a mother has when even going back to the point of breastfeeding and caring for this child, so much of a child's relationship to how to behave comes from the way it is treated, even at that young age. And then someone said, well, let's actually bring it back to when a mother is pregnant and the attitude that she has and that her environment has towards each other. That would affect the child as well. And it was wonderful that there's no beginning. You can't point to, it's always helpful, and it always, such virtuous thinking affects one. So indeed, according to some scientist friends of mine, there is strong evidence to suggest that a mother's mental and emotional state greatly affects the well-being of her unborn child, that it benefits her baby if she maintains a warm and gentle state of mind. A happy mother bears a happy child. On the other hand, frustration and anger are harmful to the healthy development of the baby. Similarly, during the first weeks after birth, warmth and affection continue to play a supreme role in the infant's physical development. At this stage, the brain is growing very rapidly, a function which doctors believe is somehow assisted by the constant touch of the mother or surrogate. This shows that though the baby may not know or care who is who, it has a clear physical need of affection. Perhaps, too, it explains why even the most fractious, agitated, and paranoid individuals respond positively to the affection and care of others. As infants, they must have been nurtured by someone. Should a baby be neglected during this critical period, clearly it could not survive. So this is talking about that early age, but I really think that the same attitude, the same value can be attributed to treating others kindly as we get older. Treating them kindly and being treated kindly affect us all. There, it's all more critical, but it's just as important throughout our lives.
This is borne out by studies of criminals who didn't have a good warm home, and a lot of them have no idea of society, they just have for themselves. You're a parent, right? So
Yeah.
you've seen the results of this?
Yeah, my wife is definitely more calm and warm than I am, but we've been thinking a lot about how my child had open heart surgery at 2, and he's experiencing a lot of frustration, social and emotional stuff. We got a call the other morning that he pushed a kid off stairs in the playground. So he has explosive anger, which is in my family, which I think is intergenerational trauma. So, there's a lot of drinking on my dad's side of the family. I'm first generation Irish.
A lot of people.
But I feel that, the sort of small violence that he's raging a little bit sometimes. I mean, he's a very sweet boy, and he's really smart and intelligent. But a lot of it, I think, comes from this experience of open heart surgery and how brutal and traumatic it was. And there's some studies that show that going through that at such a young age could make him more volatile to that kind of stuff. So it's been tough with him a little bit, but
How old is he?
He's 4 now.
It's tough. He can still.
Yeah,
Plenty of room.
and I'm trying desperately to have as much patience as possible.
It's my problem too.
Yeah.
If I don't have kids.
It's fine. It's fine when I find it funny. right?
You gotta.
When it's questions and like, you know, the endless questions and, you know, that kind of stuff. If I look at it as humorous, it's really easy, but it's very easy to not find it funny, right? But if you look at it like this is his little brain, and this is what he's thinking, and this is why he's upset, and then it's kind of amazing, you know. So if I could find the wonder in it, which I often do, but there's a lot of times when I don't, right? I'm looking at my watch too much. I got to get him somewhere too fast. So, no, I'm talking on and on, but
Okay.
but you know, for me, it's the humor leads to joy, which leads to
Yeah. And make better decisions.
patience, and all that other stuff comes after that, you know. Often he'll say, I'm like, Luca, why are you crying? Or you have to stop crying, you know. And he says, I don't know how to stop crying. And that's what will really break your heart, is if you hear a 4-year-old say something like,
It's honest.
but I don't know how to stop crying, you know.
But you know, to have the objectivity to recognize that you don't have the ability, you don't know how to stop crying, is, I think, sounds like a good.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, that was really profound when he said that, because oftentimes I'm like, I don't know how to stop crying either, you know. So if a 4-year-old can say it, sometimes it's like out of the babe's mouth, right? How eloquent that actually is, this idea that you don't know how to stop suffering or whatever.
Stop laughing. No, we don't know how to stop laughing. Maybe switch that. I don't know.
He doesn't know how to stop imitating and joking.
That's right. It's true. See, I'm a very tranquil, peaceful, thoughtful person. I'm gay.
So,
Yes, here we go. Page 67. You know?
fortunately, this is a very rare, very rarely the case. Almost without exception, the mother's first act is to offer her baby her nourishing milk, an act which to me symbolizes unconditional love. Her affection here is totally genuine and uncalculating. She expects nothing in return. As for the baby, it is drawn naturally to its mother's breast. Why? Of course, we can speak of the survival instinct, but in addition, I think it reasonable to conjecture a degree of affection on the part of the infant towards its mother. If it felt aversion, surely it would not suckle. And if the mother felt aversion, it is doubtful her milk would flow freely. What we see instead is a relationship based on love and mutual tenderness, which is totally spontaneous. It is not learned from others. No religion requires it. No laws impose it. No schools have taught it. It arises quite naturally. Well, that's very beautiful to sort of recognize, view that. And though animals don't maybe smile, except for your dachshund, animals, the tenderness that a mother dog shows to her puppies is really moving. It's
Cats
really
too, yes.
Yeah, it won't respond to affection. Animals, once they know you, they do.
Even birds, they peck each other and they groom each other with their beaks in the nest. I saw a video of that. Thought it was very touching.
this instinctual care of a mother for a child, shared, it seems, with many animals, is crucial because it suggests that alongside the baby's fundamental need of love in order to survive, there exists an innate capacity on the part of the mother to give love. So here what we're trying to sort of identify is this innate capacity to give love, that we are, there is this tendency to view ourselves as being innately self-centered, innately deserving of the our wish to satisfy ourselves. That, and I think that our society, to a certain extent, cultivates this. We are all the centers of the universe, and we are all that our need to wish to satisfy ourselves and be satisfied is our right. And this is suggesting that we also have these benevolent, selfless characteristics that are part of our sort of natural makeup. The instinctual care of a mother for a child, shared, it seems, with many animals, is crucial because it suggests that alongside the baby's fundamental need of love in order to survive, there exists an innate capacity on the part of the mother to give love. So powerful is it that we might almost suppose a biological component is at work. Of course, it could be argued that this reciprocal love is nothing more than a survival mechanism. That could well be so, but that is not to deny its existence. Nor indeed does it undermine my conviction that this need and capacity for love suggests that we are, in fact, loving by nature. If this seems improbable, consider our differing response to kindness and to violence. Most of us find violence intimidating. Conversely, when we are shown kindness, we respond with greater trust. Similarly, consider the relationship between peace, which, as we have seen, is the fruit of love, and good health. According to my understanding, our constitution is more suited to peace and tranquility than to violence and aggression. We all know that stress and anxiety can lead to high blood pressure and other negative symptoms. In the Tibetan medical system, mental and emotional disturbances are considered to be a cause of many constitutional diseases, including cancer. Moreover, peace, tranquility, and others' care are essential to recovery from illness. We can also identify a basic longing for peace. Why? Because peace suggests life and growth, whereas violence suggests only misery and death. This is why the idea of a pure land or heaven attracts us. If such a place were described in terms of unending warfare and strife, we would much rather remain in this world. So, what have you to say on these pronouncements?
We have enough violence in this world, we don't have to go to heaven to find it. Yeah, I can agree with that. Also, the idea of a violent temperament has a weaker immune system.
Weakens our
immune system. Has a weaker, yeah. That's been proven empirically. And the three leading diseases that kill people: heart disease, cancer, and stroke, all have the fact of stress as a cause. That's what they're finding out slowly but surely. I wish they would apply this. No, but it's been the Mind and Life conferences. They're very good. If you find them online, delve into them, as he mentioned. You've been at some of them. Sometimes you go, "Where's Nikki?" and you popped up in the back. You're always in the back. But they're very, very informative. An education itself. And it's all over the internet. on YouTube or whatever.
But what are you referring to?
The statement that they made where they proved the correlation between the three big killers in the United States and the factor, the one universal factor in all of them is stress. The body itself is stressed and can't produce the immunity it needs to. You could imagine, of course, a person always angry is going to have high blood pressure. It's going to be, that's obvious. But the cancer thing, that's strange. Because cancer tips in quietly. But they're claiming this is a factor.
Notice too how we respond to the phenomenon of life itself. When spring follows winter, the days become longer, there is more sunshine, the grass grows afresh. Automatically our spirits lift. On the other hand, at the approach of winter, the leaves begin to fall one by one, and much of the vegetation around us becomes as though dead. Small wonder if we tend to feel a bit downcast at that time of year. The indication here is surely that our nature prefers life over death, growth over decay, construction over destruction.
Yeah, seasonal depression, or what's that word?
That's right, seasonal depression disorder.
Yeah, then you gotta get over. It's gonna get winter every year. You have to have a way of dealing with it. And sometimes it's good, it's the rest. Live in a noisy neighborhood, winter's a blessing.
The big conversation now is the daylight savings time.
Yes.
And the issue is children going to school. That's one of the main
Yeah.
issues.
So start the school an hour later. Hello. Adjust. What's the big deal? The kids will be there at 8, 9, 9:30.
But then the parents have to go to work, so
Yeah.
there's.
Well, work starts a little later. There's got to be some.
You have no problem.
No,
No, I don't either.
face that.
Can the pursuit of worldly justice be considered a manifestation of compassion, still a long way from home? Can the pursuit of worldly justice be considered a manifestation of compassion? Yes.
And the wish to remove suffering is compassion. Is that from
The
KHENSUR?
It doesn't say who it's from, but the pursuit of worldly justice.
Why not?
So we just have to be really careful how we go about pursuing worldly justice. The trouble with placing our cultivation of compassion out there is that we can get into the sort of complexities of politics and those things. It's just tougher, but definitely the pursuit of worldly justice is a manifestation of compassion.
Your
Yes.
emphasis is on inner transformation, not so much the otherwise.
I think that
That has to come first.
if our pursuit of worldly justice grows into anger and violence and whatever, we've
We lost it.
lost it, exactly. So it's important to always work at developing that inner compassion and let that grow into a pursuit for worldly justice. So maybe this is a good place to stop.
So page 68. 69.
Yeah.
We say some concluding. Yeah, I'll get you a cup. I can stand up.
So we're being asked to Sergeant Michael Emmanuel Swinton and Lisette.
Michael who?
Sergeant Michael Emmanuel Swinton
Oh,
and
from the
Lisette
correct.
Vincennes.
There's always a war.
So we recite this is a recollection of the qualities of the Buddha, the Dharma, the doctrine, and the Sangha, the spiritual community, and we
When someone dies, they send names, and we recite this to ask for their good rebirth. That's it. That's it.
I prostrate to the Omniscient One. Thus the Buddha, Bhagavat, Tathagata, Arhat, Samyak Sambuddha, the learned and virtuous one, the Sugata, the knower of the world, the charioteer and tamer of beings, the unsurpassable one, the teacher of devas and humans is the Buddha Bhagavat. The Tathagata is in accord with all merit. He does not waste the root of virtue. He is completely ornamented with all patience. He is the basis of the treasures of merit. He is adorned with the minor marks. He blossoms with the flowers of the major marks. His activity is timely and appropriate. Seeing him, he is without disharmony. He brings true joy to those who long with faith. His knowledge cannot be overpowered. His strength cannot be challenged. He is the teacher of all sentient beings. He is the father of bodhisattvas. He is the king of noble ones. He is the guide of those who journey to the city of Nirvana. He possesses immeasurable wisdom. He possesses inconceivable confidence. His speech is completely pure. His melody is pleasing. One never has enough of seeing him. His form is incomparable. He is not stained by the realm of desire. He is not stained by the realm of form. He is not affected by the formless realm. He is completely liberated from suffering. He is completely and utterly liberated from the skandhas. He is not possessed with dhatus. His ayatanas are controlled. He has completely cut the knots. He is completely liberated from torment. He is liberated from craving. He has crossed over the river. He is perfected in all the wisdoms. He abides in the wisdom of the Buddha Bhagavats who arise in the past, present, and future. He does not abide in nirvana. He abides in the ultimate perfection. He dwells on the bhumi where he sees all sentient beings. All these are the perfect virtues of the greatness of the Buddha Bhagavat. The holy Dharma is good at the beginning, good in the middle, and good at the end. Its meaning is excellent. Its words are excellent. It is uncorrupted. It is completely perfect and completely pure. It completely purifies. The Bhagavat teaches Dharma well. It brings complete vision. It is free from sickness. It is always timely. It directs one further. Seeing it fulfills one's purpose. It brings discriminating insight to the wise. The Dharma which is taught by the Bhagavat is revealed properly in the Vinaya. It is renunciation. It causes one to arrive at perfect enlightenment. It is without contradiction. It is pithy. It is trustworthy and puts an end to the journey. As for the Sangha of the great Yana, they enter completely, they enter insightfully, they enter straightforwardly, they enter harmoniously, they are worthy of veneration with joined palms, they are worthy of receiving prostration, they are a field of glorious merit, they are completely capable of receiving all gifts, they are an object of generosity, they are a great object of complete generosity. The protector who possesses great kindness, the omniscient teacher, the basis of oceans of merit and virtue, I prostrate to the Tathagata. Pure, the cause of freedom from passion, virtuous, liberated from the lower realms. This alone is the supreme ultimate truth. I prostrate to the Dharma which is peace. Having been liberated, they show the path for liberation. They are fully dedicated to the disciplines. They are a holy field of merit and possess virtue. I prostrate to the Sangha. I prostrate to the Buddha, the leader. I prostrate to the Dharma, the protector. I prostrate to the Son of the community. I prostrate respectfully and always to these three. The Buddha's virtues are inconceivable. The Dharma's virtues are inconceivable. The Sangha's virtues are inconceivable. Having faith in these inconceivables, therefore the fruitions are inconceivable. They may be completely pure. All right, the 8 verses on training the mind. With the determination to accomplish the highest welfare of all sentient beings who surpass even a wish-granting jewel, I will learn to hold them supremely dear. Whenever I associate with others, I will learn to think of myself as the lowest amongst all, and respectfully hold others to be supreme from the very depths of my heart. In all actions, I will learn to search into my mind, and as soon as a disturbing emotion arises, endangering myself and others, I will firmly place it averted. I will learn to cherish ill-natured beings and those oppressed by strong misdeeds and sufferings, as if I had found a precious treasure difficult to find. When others out of jealousy treat me badly with abuse, slander, and so on, I will learn to take all loss and offer the victory to them. When the one whom I have benefited with great hope uneasily hurts me very badly, I will learn to view that person as an excellent spiritual guide. In short, I will learn to offer to everyone without exception all help and happiness directly and indirectly, and respectfully take upon myself all harm and suffering of my others. I will learn to keep all these practices undefiled by the stains of the 8 worldly concerns, and by understanding all phenomena as like illusions, be released from the bondage of attachment. And now the prayer for the swift return. Exalted wisdom of all victors gathered in a drop, sole refuge manifest in the form of the one wearing 7 robes. Guru Lotam Tuam Gurjichan, please bear witness here today that our prayers may be fulfilled. We beseech the great torch of doctrine, accomplishing from long ago the vast waves of aspirational prayers, Lord of speech of the victorious Son's teachings, spreading them to the ends of the earth by means of explanation and practice. Though holding the commitment, I will invite all beings to be against an unsurpassed great awakening. Yet you have withdrawn the activities of the form body that serves the welfare of others. Is that worthy of the supreme among beings, the Bodhisattvas? Though impossible to existence and to abandon completely to liberate all beings, we beseech the new son of Nirmanakaya to swiftly return to the realm of Dharmakaya, brought forth by bodhicitta drawn by 7 steeds. Having reached the far limits of scholarship, religious life, and goodness, please come swiftly as an unrivaled supreme emanation, full holder of the sage's teachings, and wish-fulfilling jewel. Return to the glory of the magnificent truth of the 3 precious jewels, Mahakala, Karmayama, and Srimati Devi, and the ocean of Dharma protectors. May you spontaneously fulfill our wish, the swift blossoming of the reincarnations fresh in the life face. So, on this Saturday at 1 o'clock, we will have a White Tara Sadhana recitation here, followed by lunch. Everyone is welcome. 1 o'clock on Saturday. For those of you coming from New York, there is a 12:10 train.
Something like 12:10 train that gets here.
It gets here at a little bit before 1 o'clock.
There's no more
Walk up the hill
Maybe
from
things will-
Mountain Station.
What station?
Mountain Station. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Nikki.
Thank you.
This is a prayer for the return of our teachers.